Welcome back to the show, everyone. Today, we're tackling a topic that I think hits home for pretty much anyone who's ever tried to create anything, whether it's a painting, a report, or even just a dinner menu. We're talking about creative blocks. Alice, you know that feeling, right? That moment when your brain just decides to go on strike?
Oh, Oliver, do I ever? It's like my brain transforms into a brick wall. You're staring at the screen, cursor blinking, the idea is there, but nothing, absolutely nothing flows out. It's not just frustrating, it's almost like existentially disappointing, you know? Like, am I even creative? Was it all a lie?
Exactly, and it's so common. We all experience it. But what is it, really? Is it just a fancy name for procrastination, or is there something more profound happening when we hit that creative wall?
That's a great question. I think for me, it feels distinct from procrastination. Procrastination is often about avoiding the work, right? A creative block feels more like you want to do the work, you want to push through, but you literally can't find the thread to pull. It's like the idea is trapped behind a pane of glass.
I resonate with that. I remember once I had this really important presentation to build, and I just couldn't start the outline. My mind was just blank. I had all the information, all the data points, but connecting them into a compelling narrative felt impossible. I stared at that blank slide for what felt like hours.
Oh, the blank slide is a classic. For me, as someone who writes a lot, it's the blank page. I've had entire days where I just produced 2 sentences, and those 2 sentences weren't even good. It makes you question everything, your talent, your purpose, your life choices.
It's interesting because sometimes it feels like it comes out of nowhere, and other times you can almost see it building. Like you've been pushing too hard, or you're burnt out, or you're just overwhelmed by too many ideas.
Yes, absolutely. Burnout is a huge one for me. When I've been working intensely on a project for weeks, the well just dries up. It's not that I don't have ideas, it's that my brain simply refuses to engage. It's almost like a protective mechanism, forcing me to rest.
And that brings up a good point. What are some of these common causes? We've mentioned burnout. What else do you think contributes to creative blocks?
Oh, fear, definitely. Fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, fear of judgment, that little voice in your head that whispers, this isn't original enough, or everyone's done this before. That can totally paralyze you. Perfectionism, too, is a sneaky one. Wanting it to be perfect right from the start can stop you from even putting anything down.
Perfectionism is a killer. It sets the bar so high that you're afraid to even start climbing. I also think sometimes it's just a lack of new input. We get stuck in our routines, consuming the same things, talking to the same people, and our creative well just doesn't get refilled.
Totally. You need to feed the beast. If you're constantly outputting without taking in new information, new experiences, new perspectives, eventually you'll just run on empty. It's like trying to drive a car without gas.
So true. So let's pivot a bit. Once we understand what might be causing it, what are some of your go-to strategies for breaking through a creative block? What's your secret weapon, Alice?
Okay, my number one absolute go-to is changing my environment. If I'm stuck at my desk staring at the same 4 walls, I'll get up and leave. Go for a walk, even if it's just around the block. Go to a coffee shop, sit on a park bench. Just anything to shift the visual landscape. There's something about physical movement and a change of scenery that just jolts my brain.
That's a fantastic one. I do something similar. Sometimes I'll just go work from a different room in the house, or even just turn my chair around to face a different direction. It's amazing how a slight shift can alter your perspective. What else?
Well, related to that, I also sometimes try to engage a different part of my brain. If I'm stuck writing, I might go draw something or play a musical instrument, even if I'm terrible at it. Just doing something completely non-verbal or non-analytical can sometimes loosen up the gears. And then, when I come back to the original task, it often feels a little less daunting.
That's a smart approach. It's like you're tricking your brain into thinking it's not working, but you're actually just letting it process in the background. For me, one thing that often helps is lowering the stakes. If I'm trying to write something perfect, I'll tell myself, okay, just write the worst draft possible. Just get something down no matter how bad. And surprisingly, once that pressure is off, sometimes really good ideas start to emerge.
Oh, the worst draft possible is brilliant. That totally disarms the inner critic. It's like, okay, critic, you can't even judge this, it's supposed to be terrible. I also find that sometimes setting an artificial deadline helps. Like I have 15 minutes to write something, anything, even if it's just a bullet point list. That urgency can sometimes override the paralysis.
Yeah, those micro deadlines can be really effective. They break down the intimidating mountain into smaller, manageable hills. Another thing I've found useful is to actively seek out inspiration, but not directly related to the project. If I'm working on a marketing campaign, I might go read a book on ancient philosophy, or look at architecture, or listen to a genre of music I don't usually listen to. It's about cross-pollination of ideas.
Absolutely. Broadening your horizons is key. And sometimes the inspiration doesn't even come from direct consumption. It can come from a conversation with a friend or observing something mundane on the street. It's about keeping your mind open to connections that might not seem obvious at first.
What about just taking a full-on break, like not even trying to do something related, but just stepping away completely? Does that work for you?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing. Go watch a movie, take a nap, cook a complicated meal, just completely disengage. I find that my subconscious mind often keeps working on the problem in the background, and then I'll wake up in the middle of the night with the perfect solution, or it'll just pop into my head while I'm doing the dishes. It's like my brain needed to just let go and trust the process.
That's the incubation phase, right? It's so powerful. Our brains are constantly making connections, and sometimes we just need to get out of our own way and let them do their thing without the pressure of conscious effort. It's a testament to how complex our minds are.
It really is. And I think another important point is self-compassion. It's so easy to beat yourself up when you're stuck. Why can't I do this? This should be easy. But that negative self-talk only makes the block worse. Recognizing that creative blocks are a normal part of the creative process, that everyone experiences them, can be incredibly freeing.
That's such a crucial point, Alice. It's not a sign of failure or lack of talent. It's just a phase. And sometimes, a creative block can even be a sign that you're about to have a breakthrough. You're wrestling with a problem that requires a new way of thinking, and your brain is just doing the heavy lifting to get there.
Yes! Like the calm before the storm, but in a good way. The struggle often precedes the solution, and sometimes the block itself teaches you something new about your process or your limits. It's an opportunity for growth, if you choose to see it that way.
Absolutely. I've also found that sometimes talking it out with someone else, even if they don't have the answers, can help. Just verbalizing the problem, hearing yourself say it out loud, can sometimes clarify the issues in your own mind.
Oh, totally. The rubber duck debugging method, but for creativity. Explain your problem to an inanimate object or a patient friend, and sometimes the solution just clicks as you're talking. It's amazing how much we process externally.
So, to recap some of our key takeaways for anyone listening who might be staring down a creative block right now, try changing your environment. Engage a different part of your brain. Lower the stakes by aiming for a terrible first draft. Set micro deadlines, actively seek broad inspiration, and don't be afraid to take a complete break and trust your subconscious.
And remember to practice self-compassion. You're not alone, and it's not a sign you're not creative. It's just part of the journey. Embrace it, learn from it, and know that the breakthrough is often just around the corner. What else would you add, Oliver?
I'd add, sometimes the solution isn't to push harder, but to push differently. If what you're doing isn't working, try the opposite. If you're overthinking, stop thinking. If you're stuck indoors, go outside. If you're trying to make it perfect, make it messy. It's about being flexible and experimenting with your approach.
That's fantastic advice. It's all about experimentation, really. Finding what works for you in that moment. Because a creative block isn't a one-size-fits-all problem, and the solutions won't be either. You've got to be your own creative scientist.
Couldn't agree more. So, next time you're facing that blank page or that impossible problem, don't despair. See it as an invitation to try something new, to explore a different path. And who knows, that block might just lead you to your next big idea.
Definitely. It's a challenge, not a dead end. So go out there and get unstuck, everyone. Thanks for joining us today, Oliver.
Thanks, Alice. And thank you all for listening. We'd love to hear your experiences with creative blocks and what helps you overcome them. Until next time, keep creating.